Hello and welcome once again to your one and only program, Talking Fingers. My name is Patience Ilozwe. If you are watching for the first time, this is the only program that teaches your fingers how to talk. And the idea of this program is to help close the existing gap between the deaf and the hearing. If we're able to communicate with our fingers, then half of the problems of the deaf would have been solved. With that, I welcome you formally to the program. In our last class, we learned quite a number of signs, and I also gave some homework, even though the students who tested me said I was rather fast. So I canceled the homework that I gave because a lot of students said they didn't get all the signs that I made. But quickly, let's go through all the signs that were taught in the last class. Let's start. We learned how to sign boy, which I said is just like a face cap. Then we learned girl. Your thumb or your cheek, you stroke it out. Then, of course, son is a mixture of boy and baby. And then daughter, girl and baby makes daughter, you remember? Then we also learned how to sign husband, which is a boy and marry. This is a sign for marry, we'll learn that today. These two signs make husband. And of course, wife is girl and marry. Then we also learned how to sign parents, which is the P hand, first on your forehead, at the side of your forehead, and then on your cheek. That's parents. Then family, your F hand face down, and then you make a big circle with it. That's family. Family. Then in-law, we have in-law this way. We also learned how to sign man, which is from the head down to the center of the chest. Man. And woman is same. From here, this is mother, you remember? But once you place it here and then down to your chest, it forms a woman. And those were the signs we learned last class. We made a lot of sentences with them. I hope you practice all the signs we learned last. By the way, have you met with any deaf yet? Were you able to say one or two things to them? That will be fun. Now, today, gladly, the phone lines are working, so we'll be able to communicate. Not yet, don't call yet. When it's time, we'll be able to communicate. Remember, aside from calling, you can also send text messages to the number that will be showing on your screen. You can watch. You can log on to www.youtube.com/NTA2Lagos, either to do a catch-up lesson or to watch it online. So many channels to watch the program. You can't but watch and learn how to communicate. Today we're going to still learn signs on family. We have learned quite a lot on family, but we want to learn more signs on family. We're going to learn how to sign bachelor. We're going to learn how to sign sweetheart, marriage, cousin, nephew, engaged, child, stroke children, cousin, divorce. Okay, quite a number of signs. Let's start. The first sign to learn is him. Him. Now, both him and he share the same sign. Him and he both share the same sign. You have it this way. The first cap, remember, represents a boy, this way, and then you point in the direction of the person you're talking about. He. He. The same sign goes for him. Face out, and then you point. However, some deaf like varying it. So you might meet a deaf who will sign him this way. Watch. The face cap, and then ends with an M. This and M. So you could choose to sign this as he or him. Of course, this is he. This is just the sign for he. But for him, you could either choose to sign this or this with an M. This with an M. So either of these two signs, it's acceptable. Then we move on to the next sign, which is children. Children. This is children, and it makes sense. It's demonstrating little ones, children, okay? But if it is a child, just one, you just tap once. That's a child, this. But if it's children, it becomes many times, okay, indicating there are a lot of them, little ones, children. That's the second sign. The third sign is she stroke her. That's the opposite of him and her, he and him. We're learning she and her. Of course, you know this is a girl, you remember? There's a sign for a girl this way, and then you point it out. That makes it her or she. She, her, she, her. Some deaf again prefer to vary, so when signing her, they stroke out the thumb and end out with an R finger. This way, and then they end with an R finger. But if you still sign this, they understand it and is acceptable. So you can sign this as she, her. Did you get that? She and her. Okay, the next sign is bachelor. Quite a number of my students are still bachelor, so you want to learn how to sign bachelor. It's with your B hand. Your right B hand, first on your right, and then on your left side of the cheek. 1, 2, that's bachelor. Bachelor. Are you a bachelor? We're going to make some sentences with that. Are you a bachelor? This is bachelor. Okay. Now, quickly, let's run through the 4 signs again, starting with he, or him, or him. Then we learned how to sign child or children. Child, that's 1 tap, or rather 2 tap, 1, 2 for child. Then for children, many taps, little ones, little ones, okay? And then we learned how to sign she or her, she, her. It must be your index finger that you're pointing forward. Your thumb on your cheek, as it's coming out gradually, you point the index finger forward. That's she, her, she, her. And then we've just learned how to sign bachelor, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And quickly, cousin, cousin. Now, your cousin can be a male, can be female. So remember I said sign for male is upwards, while that for female is down. Now that we have cousin, what sign do you think, where do you think the position should be? Up or down? Well, it should be in between, isn't it? Yes. So you have your C hand by your cheek, and then you wiggle. You wiggle. Okay, that's cousin. I hope you still remember how to sign aunt. Aunt, do you remember? Aunt is your A hand by your cheek, you wiggled. That was learnt in the previous class. Aunt. Now we're learning cousin. Cousin is your C hand at the center of your cheek, not up, not down, just at the center, and then you wiggle, cousin, cousin. So you should be able to sign, for example, she is my cousin. She is my cousin. Can you sign that? Let's sign it together. She. Who remembers the sign for is? Okay, let me go through the register and see some of the students I have in class. Bola Ayodele. If you're watching, do you remember how to sign is? Lucy Ulubwe. Can you sign is? It's the little finger on your mouth, and you just push it out gently. Is. So again, she is. She is my cousin. One more time. She is my cousin. Okay, that's how to sign that. And now we move on to sweetheart. Sweetheart. I'll leave sweetheart for now. We'll learn how to sign that later. I know a lot of you want to learn that. In fact, a student called and said, please, can you teach how to sign sweetheart? And coincidentally, it's one of the things we'll be learning today. Let's quickly go to nephew. We'll move back to sweetheart. Nephew, you have your N hand. Nephew must be a male. In that case, it has to be upwards. You just wiggle. This is nephew. Nephew. Okay, and then niece should be how? How should we sign niece? I guess you guessed right. This way, niece below, nephew, and then niece. And quickly, engaged, engaged. Okay, your E hand, the E hand of the right hand, the E hand of the right hand, on your fourth finger, you know your fourth finger is the ring finger, you make a circular motion towards that finger, okay? In fact, on the finger rather. You make a circular motion on the finger. That's engaged, engaged. So we can ask the question, are you engaged? Are you engaged? Can you ask that question in sign? Okay, are you attempting? Okay, let's ask it together. Are you engaged? Are, you remember that's how to sign R. Are you engaged? Of course, you can add the question mark to show you're asking a question, accompany that with your facial expression. So let's take that again. Are you engaged? Are you engaged? Okay, before I go on, I think I should throw the phone line open so that we can communicate. Remember, we didn't talk on Monday. I want to hear your voice now. The number to call is on the screen. Dial this number and let's have a chat together. See if any of the signs I've taught so far, if you have any difficulties with any of the signs, I'll gladly put you through. If not, I'll be glad to ask some questions based on the signs that I've been taught. While I wait for your calls, let me quickly run through other signs. We've learned how to sign him or he. Then we learned how to sign child or children. Then she or her, she or her. Then, of course, we learned how to sign bachelor. Okay. Then we learned cousin, which is at the center of the side of the face. This is cousin. We learned nephew. Then we learned niece. And then we learned how to sign engage. Engage. Adult is the next. Adult is your A hand. Your A hand at the side of your head first and second, more like the sign for parents, except that for parents you sign with your letter P, you remember? Letter P is this way and that way. The number to dial is 081 241 16176. 081 241 16176. You can begin to call now, and let's see if there's any sign you don't get. Let me put you through. If you know all the signs I've taught, better still, I'll ask questions. Let me hear you call. Back again, we learned how to sign adults. Adults. You have the A hand here and here. That's adults. Almost the same sign like I said for parents. I said that for parents you have the P hand right here and here. That's parents. And quickly, we will go to, let's see, marriage. Marriage. This is marriage. This is marriage. Okay, the two hands coming together is marriage. Marriage. Okay, we have more signs to teach, but why not let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll take other signs for today. Let's take a break. So, if you're watching again, this is the program that will teach you how to communicate with them. At this point, I expect you to start calling so that we can communicate based on the signs that have been taught. Now, let's go through the signs once again. Let's go through the signs once again. We started with he, and then we did children or child, depending on what you're signing. This is child. Then we have she, bachelor, cousin. I omitted sweetheart. Now let's learn it. For that caller that pleaded on Monday that I teach sweetheart, I hope you're watching. This is how to sign sweetheart. Your two thumbs at the left side of your chest, and then you stroke up and down with a good facial expression that shows what you're talking about. It won't make a sense if your face is all squeezed up and you're signing sweetheart. Okay, so this is how to sign sweetheart. So can we say together, you are my sweetheart? And of course, everyone who watches this program and is learning how to sign is my sweetheart. Hello? Hello? Okay, I understand the caller is online. I want to hear your voice again. This is how to sign sweetheart. Now let's sign it together. You are my sweetheart. You are my sweetheart. Can we try a little faster? You are my sweetheart. Okay, interesting. Let's move on. Remember, engage is this way. You have engage this way. Niece is this way, and you have nephew this way. Sorry, the line is...
I want to get linked to her, please.
Hello? Hello, you already linked to her? What's the name? Hello, what's the name of this student?
Ruben.
Ruben?
Yes.
Ruben, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Western Avenue.
Western Avenue.
Yes.
Please, Ruben who? I have a lot of Ruben in my register.
You said?
Ruben who?
Ruben Coyote.
Coyote. Okay, Ruben, do you have any problem with any of the signs that has been taught?
Sorry, I just want to ask you, though I'm one of these students. It's like I want to know how to, because I was able to know the alphabet N and N. But the other alphabet, I wasn't in the class. Can you quickly run through it, please?
Oh, Ruben, that's going to be a little bit tough to run through the letters. I don't think you'll be able to cut.
Excuse me, can I quickly add another thing?
Yes?
I don't know, is it government can try and in primary schools and secondary schools so that there's no gap between the deaf and the hearing people? I don't understand what I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly, I agree with you, and then we are talking about it, that there should be inclusions in almost all the schools in the Federation, okay, so that's
good. Because if people like me now have, had the opportunity of signing this language, right from my secondary school, primary school, there won't be any problem for me speaking with the next person. The government should just try and do it.
Exactly.
Of our country too.
Ruben, I'm campaigning on that. It should be one of the subjects in the school, right from primary school. It should be like other subjects, okay, so that when it is taught in schools, right from primary school, by the time you're graduating from your secondary school, you should be able to communicate effectively in signs. And that's exactly what the program is all about, okay? I hope the right authorities are watching. We are talking about it. People want to learn how to communicate with the deaf, and the earlier this is integrated into the system, the better for all of us. Now, quickly, Ruben said A to Z. I'm sorry, Ruben, that will not be possible, but if you log on to www.youtube/NTA2Lagos, you have the catch-up lesson there. All that have been taught is right there online, so you can be able to, learn there. Is there anybody calling? I understand we lost that call. Okay, quickly again, let's go through the signs. We've learned he. Okay, we've learned he. We've learned child. We've learned children. If there are many, you sign it this way. We've learned she. And then bachelor, cousin, you wiggle, sweetheart, nephew, niece, engaged. Remember, for your fourth finger, your right hand, engaged. Let's quickly make some sentences, just one or two sentences before I give you the homework for today. Can we sign, he loves you? Haven't learned how to sign he. He loves you. And if you are to do it a little faster, it will be one, okay, 1, 2, 3. He loves you. And then, how are your children? How are your children? How are your children? How are your children? Okay, I think there's a much we'll be able to take. I'll just quickly run through the questions we'll have for today. Unfortunately, the lines didn't work well today again, so I wasn't able to hear much of my students' call. Let's be hopeful for the next class. The first homework for today is 1, 2, 3. The article that should come in now is always omitted in sign language. So I'm going to omit the article perhaps you're expecting me to sign and then add just this. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first sign. Then the second one. Okay. The third sign, or you want me to repeat that? And then the third one, let's see. What did I sign? And lastly, okay, these are the questions to answer. Test your answers to the number you called on. That's, let's see, 081-241-16176. 081-241-16176. That's the number to test. Remember, you can also reach me through my email address, talkingfingerstv@gmail.com. Talkingfingerstv as one word. talkingfingerstv@gmail.com is right there on your screen. And then you can do a catch-up lesson. If there's anything you missed in this class, do a catch-up lesson by logging on to www.youtube.com/NTA2Lagos. I enjoyed teaching you today, even though I didn't hear your voice. I hope you enjoyed learning. I'll be here again on Monday to teach you more science. Until then, let's talk with our fingers so that we can close the gap between the hearing and the deaf. Have a good day.